Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching FANTAVISION, and that's right, the Xbox Series X has been out. Well, Xbox Series X and S have both been out now for over 2 years. It's kind of shocking. I don't know where the time went, but I also feel like I've kind of experienced that passing of time as well. I mean, when it first came out, it was this just insane storm of people trying to get it. The online stores were all clogged up, people weren't able to get one, and now it's a little bit the same. It's still not incredibly easy to get one, but for the first time ever, I saw an Xbox Series X in a store. I'd never seen that before. I just saw it sit in that locked case, ready for someone to buy. And I never thought I'd see the day, but there you go. I saw one Xbox Series X in stores because they're still somehow pretty hard to find. Maybe by the time you're watching this video, I'll be incorrect, but at the time of shooting this, it's still very difficult to find one of these things. However, just like the very beginning, the Xbox Series S is everywhere and available to purchase, and honestly is kind of an underrated system. Well, I was gonna say for $300, but it goes on sale constantly for like $250 packaged with games or controllers, and I've even seen it as low as $229. So that's a crazy deal for any system that's gonna be playing these new games and is basically a Game Pass machine, which is basically what this entire generation has been. The Xbox Series X, the Xbox Series S has been 2 years of Game Pass, and that's about it. If you don't have Game Pass on your Xbox, I mean, I guess you're maybe not playing that wide of a variety of games, but the cool thing about Game Pass for me is the fact that it has me trying so many new different games that otherwise I might not have experienced because I don't want to plunk down the money to just buy it right away. So you get this opportunity to try a bunch of different titles that come out, and with Microsoft gobbling up all these different companies and paying a bunch of indie developers to put it day one on Game Pass, you're able to play so many different games. And honestly, that's what's really made this generation so great so far. I've honestly played so many more games than I normally would have played, and going out of my comfort zone to try things that I normally wouldn't have tried, and that's been awesome. Something that is also kind of strange is the fact that we're seeing so few massive games just kind of in general. All the different games that we're looking forward to from Microsoft are still very far down the road. I'm talking about Starfield, which I guess is coming up soon-ish. Fable 4, we don't really know anything about. Elder Scrolls 6. There's so many different games that we're really excited about, but we don't know exactly when we're going to be able to play them and when we're going to start feeling that next-gen experience. Now, I do feel the next-gen experience with some of even these older games, like Hitman 3, for instance, runs like a dream. Forza Horizon 5 may be on all the different consoles, but it runs amazingly on the Xbox Series X. And I know another reason why we haven't gotten games that are really pushing the system to its limit is not just the Xbox One, but also developers are still getting used to the hardware and tailoring things specifically for this generation. So I think we're going to start seeing graphics start picking up in the next year or two, as well as, frame rate and everything else. We're going to be seeing games really take advantage of it. Because really, I'm sure this is going to age poorly, but we're getting pretty close to the edge of what you can do with graphics before they look photorealistic. I mean, a lot of these games are looking insane. That really now we're looking at games when it comes to art direction, how well they optimize it for the system, and is it hitting that 60 FPS frame rate that everybody wants to see? Because 60 frames and 30 frames, I mean, yeah, not a whole lot of graphical jump between Xbox One and Series X, but we saw that frame rate jump, that resolution jump, just all of these integral things that have just made the gameplay experience so much smoother. Speaking of smoother, the loading times, oh my god, the loading times are so much better in the Series X and the Series S. That in itself is almost worth having one at this point, just because you just jump into your game so much faster, especially when they just suspend a couple of the games in the background. You just jump right in to where you were. And that honestly is one of the most underrated features of the Series X and S. That suspend game feature is insane. There are so many times where I even forgot that I had that specific game suspended, because you can have like 4 or 5 games, and you go back into it, it just resumes it, and it's good to go. Unless you're playing Skyrim, and then it causes a million different issues. But if you're playing anything else, you're just going to have a great time. You're going to jump right back into the gameplay, and it's such a magical experience to just multitask in that way. It's so cool. Another thing I want to talk about is the fact that they didn't really change their controller at all. So I've been using this now for 2 years, and I was originally saying, I like the original Xbox One controller. I mean, I don't know why I said that, besides I was just kind of butthurt about the design a little bit. It just looks a little bit weirder that it's flat, but I've gotten used to it now, and I really like it. I don't really use the share button ever, but overall, I like the controller a lot. It feels very sturdy. Haven't had any issues. I haven't had any stick drift, which is more than I can say for the Nintendo Switch. And overall, just love the controllers. I love how many new controllers they've come out with and how creative they've gotten. There's like the Halo one, there's the Forza one. There's so many different controllers that they've come out with. There's like the different camos, the different colors, the lunar shift. I know it's a strange thing to bring up, but I've always really liked the different controllers that you get that just come out over time. And I know you're not staring at the controller while you're playing the game, but occasionally you look down and you have it sitting on your shelf, and it's just cool to have a neat looking controller. So it's nice that there's a wide variety out there. I wish PlayStation would do more stuff like that. Yeah, it's great that there's a God of War one, but where are the other ones? Why aren't there other controllers out there? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's quite strange. It is a big disappointment, though, that in their first 2 years, the #1 game that everybody was hyped about, Halo Infinite, turned out to be one of the biggest disappointments in gaming, just because of how long we were waiting for a new one. We thought they were going to learn from their mistakes. We thought they were going to learn from the Master Chief Collection and have it working perfectly day one. I don't know why we thought that. And then we thought, at least they'll learn from their mistakes and have split screen offline co-op. You can play on the couch. It'll be wonderful. You can have your friends over. Nope, they cut that feature randomly, and they've been taking forever to roll things out. Now it's gotten slightly better. They have added new content, but still, it feels like it just should have launched like that. So it's just an incredible disappointment that they did that with such a loved franchise. I mean, people by now could just say, Halo fans, why are you still excited? Have you not seen Halo 4 and 5? Like, what were you looking forward to? Didn't you see how the Master Chief Collection launched? Why were you excited for it? Well, us Halo fans were just constantly hoping for the series to come back because it's our favorite shooter, and we're hoping to relive the glory days of Halo 3 and Halo Reach and Halo 2. The original 4 Halo games were phenomenal. I'm not talking about Halo 4. I'm talking about Halo 1 through Reach. You know what I mean? And we're just hoping to relive that again. We're still hanging on hope. At least I am for Halo Infinite, which is why I am so critical with it and why so many other Halo fans out there are so critical with that game. It's because we're really wanting it to be the game that the franchise deserves. So it's been a lot of highs and a lot of lows for the Series X, but honestly, I think the first 2 years haven't been that bad, just because of all of those different quality of life features that I talked about. The fast loading, the suspending of games, the frame rate, and the fact that so many games run so smooth, they're so optimized, they look great. And the fact that even though these games are on so many other consoles, and there's not really that exclusivity specialness that you get like you get with other consoles that have come out in the past. You're like, I got my PlayStation 4 because I have to. It's more of, I have it on my Series X, and you can have it on your Xbox One, but it's going to run so much better on my Series X. It felt like upgrading your computer. And honestly, I don't think that's such a bad thing. I think that's still great that other people get to play it, and we are still getting this phenomenal experience over on this system. And maybe it's not bottlenecking improvement too much, because again, like I said, the graphics out there are already amazing for Forza Horizon. They already look great in Halo Infinite. They look great in Elden Ring. There's so many games that already look amazing that, cutting off the Series S or the original Xbox One maybe wouldn't make that much of a difference. And it's ensuring that people with those older systems still get to play it. So not a bad thing, but also you really have to look at, is it worth all of those quality of life improvements for that price tag of the Series X or Series S? For the Series S, if you're only playing Game Pass and you don't really care about 4K and all that sort of thing, Series S is the way to go. Just get Game Pass. Get that. $250, you're golden. But if you want to be able to play all of your Xbox One games like myself on disc, or if there's the occasional game that you buy on disc that doesn't come to Game Pass, get the Series X. Honestly, if you're playing video games, you enjoy video games, you're already in Game Pass, you're thinking of joining it, that's the way to go, because honestly, it's been an enjoyable 2 years. Once they ironed out all the different issues that were going on with the crashing of suspending games and things like that, and like they did that in like the first 6 months or so, it's definitely been a really smooth and noticeably better gaming experience on the Series X. I tried booting up my Xbox One the other day just to put on Netflix, or just to play like some random thing on it just because it was in my living room, and it was so slow. I forgot how long it took to boot up and how long it took to load a game. I mean, it was just, oh my god, I could not believe it. So when I booted up my Series X again and it went up right like that, I was like, okay, yeah, I don't think I can go back, and I'm gonna have to move my Series S from my office to the living room if I ever want to do that again, because I don't want to have to deal with that awful load up time. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. If you guys think that Series X and S have been pretty good so far, if you're still holding off, I understand. And of course, please do like the video and subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you, everybody.